Welcome back to OPTCG Central, your hub for all things One Piece card game related. Before we dive in, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell. It really helps us bring you more One Piece TCG matches and more.
Very exclusive pricing. We don't give out many of them, so I think that's a big thing, but it does look like we are getting ready with Tetra here, and I will say Nathan. We have got the players, we have got the Don, we are off. We've got 3 Don on the field, and we have our first card played. Stop me if you've heard this one before. It's an Izzo.
Absolutely, this Izzo. They always have the search. Otherwise, I don't think they keep their hand. Of course, it's either Izzo or Garp, and they just give so much consistency to this deck. You really want to see that 8-cost event, especially if you are going second. And once you get to set up your 10-cost Whitebeards, you build a wall, and Rayleigh has a very hard time to go through it. However, Rayleigh does play the unblockable event to never doubt.
That is power. Absolutely. Well, we've got a Robin coming down from Tetra here, one of those low-cost cards.
Oh, Boa.
I was going to say you can search for a Luffy or a Luffy or an event.
Yes.
Oh, it is a Boa Hancock.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's not Nico Robin, it's Boa Hancock.
They could be sisters. They could be sisters.
They are very similar, especially in this card art. So I'm giving myself a little bit of a pass.
Absolutely.
But it does give you that surge. It gives a 3k body. And remember how this Rayleigh deck works. The whole point is activate main once per turn, reveal 2 events from your card to give a character with 4k or less a 2k bump. So there's lots of characters being played that have lower power initially. Lots of them have their own skills that bump up their power. And then Rayleigh bumps up their power, and they are not as weak as they might first appear.
Yes, it's just so good on Boa that you can buff her first with Rayleigh, attack with her, and then use her ability with the rest of Don you already have. So she's basically free to play her. That's so good about her. She's definitely a must-have in the deck. But the key card in every matchup I'm almost gonna say is the 4-cost Luffy. The 4-cost Luffy is the most important one. That's why you want to search for it with Nami or with Boa, with the event, and try to get Luffy with a Sanji combo, which is, it's so good. It gives a little bit of a reminder to Jinbei Weavile or Jinbei Boa when we played Blue Doffy.
Absolutely, it does. Well, Tobin and Tetra here. Does look like we had a counter from an attack with Brook. Now we are showing a couple of cards. We're playing a couple of cards, we're showing cards, and then we're going to swing with Boa Hancock here. So I think this is a 6k at this point. But what we've got here, what's beautiful, is that we've then, like you said, we've got the activate main, trash this character to give 2 rested Dom. So essentially the 2 Dom that you paid for her can then be used to attach to another character after. But because it's an activate main, trash this character, you can swing with Boa Hancock and then activate the skill to attach the Dom. So you really are getting kind of triple duty from that card.
Yes, really good. And the scary part for the ace player here is, I can imagine, if you practiced for finals, the biggest matchups that you tested is Green Zoro, Emu, Mirror Match. Maybe you took some time to play against Roger, but playing against Rayleigh, I can imagine that he didn't even play like 20 games into Rayleigh with ace at least.
No. Well, we did just see Rayleigh swing there with an 8k swing, did go and take out a life. So down to 2 for the ace player now. Now we are seeing a swing with the ace leader, and that is going to take a life. Tetra picks the first one up. Jozu hits the board, and you said how important that 4-cost Luffy is. Nathan agrees. Jozu bounces it straight back to hand.
A little bit scary if he has another Sanji, of course. You can replay the Luffy-Sanji combo. But why he's bouncing the Luffy is just because it costs 1 more. It's a question that I see a lot is, do you bounce the Tashigi or the Law when you are playing against Green Zoro? And now you're playing against Rayleigh, and it's basically, well, no, it's not the same, but you can compare it, and they are deciding to bounce the most, the one with the most cost.
Makes perfect sense to me. It's the most annoying one to replay from your hand afterwards. We got the Sanji there, that's a 3k, but on your turn it goes up to a 6k, and then of course it could be boosted by Roger even further than that. Does look like we just got a 6k swing, crucial.
8k even, because of the Rayleigh ability.
Oh, we have used the Rayleigh.
Yes, or the dice is not removed, but I can imagine that he will use his leader ability.
Oh, I
there we
didn't
go.
see it on the black background.
Yeah.
I'm blaming my color blindness. We did see the counter there to get out of it, but at least it took some resources away from Ace.
Yes. Ace has a lot of resources, and that's a little bit the problem in this matchup, of course. At some point, as Rayleigh, you are running out of resources. However, you also have a lot of them because you have just so many searches.
Speaking of which.
And all the cards are replacing themselves as well, so...
Shakyaki comes down, same search as the Boa Hancock, gets you either a Luffy or a red event. Here it is your color of arms Haki that comes down into hand. Often used just as a 2k counter.
Seems like he's happy with only one Luffy at the moment, because he has the Luffy and he has the Sanji. He has 2 Luffys even in hand.
Well, there's a Luffy and there is a Sanji showing those two events, because obviously Luffy also has a skill, and that gives lets you play that second character.
But as you can see, the Rayleigh is putting a lot of pressure, being able to swing 8 every turn with, well, the 6k bodies that they have, because Luffy is basically a 6k body.
Absolutely.
The Sanjis are also 6k.
Yep.
The Sanjis are really easy to deal with because they are only at 3. That's
Well,
also one of the reasons why he bounced the Sanji over the Luffy, because the Luffy, if you swing 8 on it, you can be sure the Rayleigh will protect it. But if you swing like the 7 on the Sanji, that is 3 cards. That's just too much, probably.
Yeah, it's asking much more to keep it around on the board, so agree with that. Well, here comes Whitebeard. We get the I Am Whitebeard event, and you do choose to pick up that extra life, so you get the 2k bump to your leader. Leader will now be 8k through your opponent's next turn. You get the draw power of the new gate when you play, and you've then got a giant 12k blocker on the board as well. This is it's a little bit getting a bit scarier for Rayleigh now, as we see a 9k swing with Jozu.
Yep. And I like that he's going face. He's not attacking with a 9k or a 10k into his Sanji. He's just pressuring life and will try to get ready as soon as possible. Also because the 6k is less threatening because you're an 8k leader, and if they have to invest it on you, you don't mind it. And this is something that you do against Emu. It's something you do against Rayleigh. It's you do against Green Zoro. If your opponent is going white, you are taking your life and become an 8k leader. And that's what he's doing here. He is an 8k leader. If the opponent wants to attack him, he has to invest a lot of Don.
So seems like we're getting a 2k bump on that Sanji, making it up into an 8k, which is enough to swing at leader, but it's just enough. So yeah, that is a 1k counter comes down from Nathan. You're like, yeah, that's all I need. You put a lot more resources in there, and I just countered it with a 1k.
Very easy to counter, of course.
Now we're going to see it's a 7k, so this can't go to life. This is going into Jozu. Just enough, so any counter will do here.
And this is a hard choice for the ace player. Do I give him even more counters? Because if I'm protecting the Jozu, I basically made my leader a 7k instead of an 8k, of course. So that's why he said, yeah, okay, Jozu, sorry, you have to go. Because otherwise, this leader Rayleigh and the Luffy will also swing into the Jozu.
But you do still get to draw a card with your leader skill there, so that's quite nice. You're getting an extra card. And Ace, because of that leader skill and everything else, really does end up with quite a beefy hand of cards.
They always have like 10 cards in
hand.
That's
my point. They've always got like 10 cards in hand. It's really annoying to play against, frankly.
We need pudding for every color. That is what you're saying.
Yes. Pudding would help here. We haven't seen an Ace Mirror on stream yet, but if we did see an Ace Mirror, pudding would help. Now we see Boa Hancock coming down. And that is going to allow that search. Red Event or Luffy, they are the choices. And it looks like we've got to never doubt that is power. Could be a very interesting card because there is a big blocker on the board, and that is the one that stops your opponent blocking.
That's really good. Let's see if he is going to try. Yeah, he's going to try to push his opponent to 0.
Oh, I love this. So you've just played that card. You cannot block with new gates. We've got a huge leader swing. I don't know, like
40? No, 13, I think.
13k leader swing. So that's 5 over the leader, and you're not allowed to block.
Wait. We are at 9, 8. Yeah.
So you're going to have to use a lot of resources to get out of it. We saw this back in the previous round, Taj and I, where a Newgate ace player was in a very similar situation, had to use a lot of resources to counter, and they did, but their hand was then not good enough to counter the following turn, and that led to a loss pretty soon afterwards.
So, okay, I think that's this leader ability, because you have to activate your leader ability before you start countering.
Okay,
So that's 14.
That's 14. We had a 13k swing, had an 8k leader, 2 2ks, and the leader skill put you at 14. That is more than 13. So it took the leader skill and 2 2k Utas, but did counter out of it. And then we start off with Nathan's turn with an Izzo going fishing a little bit and finding a Thatch.
I think he's looking for a 9-cost Whitebeard to establish a big body.
That could be fun.
Trying not to die the upcoming turn, because there is a lot of pressure from the Rayleigh side. Rayleigh also have both colors of arms hockey, which the ace player knows, so there's even more boost in hand, of course.
Yep, absolutely. Gives you an extra 1k.
Such a weak turn for ace. Just swinging very big.
10k swing to life. No blocker on the board because Rayleigh does not believe in blockers. But we do have plenty of counter, or just take the life and go, you know what? I'm in a good enough position. Now, we do get the Marco blocker down. This is going to be really good.
Now he's thinking if he wants to swing with the new gate as well, putting the Rayleigh to 0, making Roger also a threat. However, if you take your own life next turn and counter out the rest, you have also a Roger threat, so...
That is an important point. There are 2 blockers on the board now for Nathan. There is an argument here to just leave both blockers active and go, you know what? I don't think you're getting through with my hand and my 2 blockers and my 6k leader. I don't think you're getting through, so leave both the blockers active. There's another argument to just go, I can put you down to 0 life, and I think I've got enough to get over the line the following turn.
I would be scared with only 2 cards in hand.
Oh, I wouldn't do it myself. I'd keep the blocker, but this dude's in top 16 of One Piece card games. So I'm going to, whatever he chooses, I'm going to assume is the right decision. He leaves those blockers active. We go back over to Tetra here. And what can they do to try and remove that last life and win the game? It is I believe, just a 6k swing here. No boost, no further boost on the leader, so this will be enough.
Yeah. Because your opponent only has 2 cards in hand, I do like this 6k, because, yeah, are they giving their last cards? Are they already blocking?
You could block it with Marco and take the 2 cards. You could block it with Newgate and then keep Newgate on the board.
It's
clearly a big decision. Nathan is not going into this lightly or deciding super quickly. So,
absolutely. Also gonna say, the pace of the game is so fast, so when I said the Rayleigh games are long, this one...
not quite so much.
Not quite so much. This one is going fast.
But we did see a counter out of 1, and then we saw the next swing, which did get taken down by the Marco. But now Nathan's built up his hand a little bit. Those extra 2 cards are a big deal. So now you've still got the Newgate blocker on the board. You've still got 1 life remaining, and your opponent's only got really 2 decent swings left. So we're showing the event cards. We're boosting the Luffy up. We don't have any given Don right now.
Yeah, so it's still a 6.
Yes, we're a 6 right now. But if 2 Don get given, then you get a 2k bump. So you could put 2 up there onto the Luffy and make it a 10.
Yep. I do think that Tetra is thinking about, can I die on the backswing? That is the scary part right now.
Right, well, Luffy doesn't get the Don, but does get the extra 2k. So now we have an 8k Luffy. Swinging in, that blocker is active and ready to go. That's never doubt not his power, that was from previous turn, right?
Yes, correct.
So that's not in play right now. Blocking is available. Nathan does have some cards in hand now.
I feel like he doesn't have a lot of turns left, so it might be that he...
No, I agree with you. Because the thing is, these 4 or 5 attacks are going to be coming out every turn from Tetra here. They are going to keep swinging again and again. And refilling their board with these low-cost characters doesn't take much. And then when your board is full, you've usually got Don that you can use. You know, so many of these attacks are being powered up a bit more. We see a Tama and somebody else. I've missed second card, but that comes out to counter here.
Yeah, I don't see any Konkersakis, so it's really scary to play for another turn as Rayleigh. However, you don't have because of there is one life, one blocker, and one Dawn open. You have to, or you will probably try to play safe.
You don't have blockers. Rayleigh traditionally is just on a deck that plays blockers at all. So you've got one life, and then the final swing. There's two viable attackers on your opponent's side of the board. So right now, and there could be something like a Rush Roger coming in. So there is a chance that this is your last turn if you're Tetra. Not guaranteed, but there is a chance this is your final turn.
Counts for both players right now, so that's why this is the only turns that they are taking their time. All the other turns were so fast, and now are taking their time. They checked the trash from both opponents. He wants to make sure 2Ks. Because all the lists at this point are quite known.
Yes.
But they also know each other's lists. So you know how many 2Ks. He knows if he has to play around Radical Beam or not. So this Dawn is not a bluff if there's no Radical Beam in the deck. But if there's a Radical Beam in the deck, you always have to consider it, of course. And that is what Tetra's doing right now. So he's just starting with a 7.
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not seeing Radical Beam in the deck. I think it might be a bluff.
That's weird if the deck lists are open.
The deck lists are not open.
Oh, the deck lists are not?
The deck lists are not open. No, Taj and I had a discussion last term. So the deck lists aren't open. So he might, because of that, might be leaving that Dawn open as a, I've got a Radical Beam.
Ah, okay.
And like you said, but that's taking advantage of the knowledge of players. Players know what deck lists look like.
Absolutely.
So you're using that knowledge to basically go, I'm going to exploit your general knowledge here. Now, we did see a counter there with Uta. So it does not look like we're finishing the game this turn.
It's a boost event.
Yeah, that's a Gum Gum King Kong Gatling.
Yeah, so
turns Shaku Yaku into an actual attacker.
This is prime Chakiyaku.
6K Shaku Yaku.
She could even take down Rayleigh, so she can definitely take down Ace.
Oh, absolutely. So we've got lots of bigger, and this is why Rayleigh becomes so fun, because you do have these low-cost characters. You can play them all so cheaply, but then you've got so many ways to boost them up and get power, which is so much more than you might be expecting when you first look at the cards.
Yeah, I think maybe my all-time favorite deck to play was also the Red Zoro back in the days with Buggy, Magura, Makino. And your biggest cost was probably 5-cost Marco. I think that was my all-time favorite deck.
The 1-cost OPO1 Zoro build.
Yeah. Oh, it was amazing.
That was fun, man. Lots of 1-cost cards and cards that boost and search for 1-cost. They were cool. Well, it doesn't look like we're going to be ending the game this turn with Tetra because they're kind of out of attackers. We do see a Buggy hit the board. That will go and help you search for a red event.
He's going to search for Conker's Haki or at least a 2K. But not finding the Conker's Haki, or also known as Color of the Supreme King Haki, is, that...
To never doubt that his power was the choice, but you're right, that's not going to do... Well, no, to be fair, it does give you a 2K counter next turn.
Yeah. So it comes down on how many 2Ks do we have, because what if your opponent splits? That is he's probably thinking about. What if my opponent splits between Ace and the 10-cost Newgate? Can I survive the backswing?
Well, unfortunately, you've not won the game this turn. We do see a Killing Killer coming down with Rush, though. Is that going to be... It's not going to be enough. They've still got a life and then the final swing. But your opponent's got 2 or less life, so this becomes a 7K.
And he can't counter this, I think, so... I'm just assuming that we will see a 14K swing upcoming turn for Ace, and that he is like, do you have it or you don't? And
I feel like that's where I might be heading. Final life is taken, but I don't know. I think we're out of attackers for Rayleigh now.
Yes.
Everything's rested. We've used the Rush character. I don't think we've got enough Dawn to play anything else.
But Rayleigh can counter this, so Rayleigh Rayleigh is winning this, I think. I see a lot of 2K counters, 1Ks as well.
It feels like, again, Nathan's going over to his final turn.
Yes.
And the question is, can they push through 2 attacks? If they do, that'll be game. If not, Tetra's got so much on the board. Kid and Killer is a 7K, 2 6K Sanji. Luffy should be at least a 6K, maybe higher than that. You've got your Rayleigh boost to one of them on top of that. So you should be having 5 decent swings next turn, even if you ignore the buggy.
And you have the unblockable event, of course.
And you got the unblockable event as well. So, yeah, it really does feel like Nathan's got to get... He's got 2 swings.
Yes, 14-14 or 13-15. It is what he likes the most.
Unless they've got a... Okay, I was going to say unless they've got Roger in hand, but no, there's no Roger coming down here. So it is going to be a 13K and a 15K.
Yes.
Those are going to be the 2 swings coming down.
Yep.
There could have been a 13, a 12, and a 6, but Roger did not hit the board. So
how much
the question is...
2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I think we can counter this exactly. We have 14K if I watch correctly. So
there's 2, there's 4. So it's a 13K swing on Newgate, so we need 9. No.
No, this is the third. So he needs, yes. So
Yeah,
this
9.
6, 7, 8, 9. Yes, he has it exactly the 13K. So if the split was 14, 14K, that is what I'm wondering. So 14 he couldn't counter. So it would all come down to that last life if he split the 14, 14. 13, 15 was
and he's
probably...
showing the hand. He hasn't got anything, so that means Rayleigh is going to be taking game 1. Too much offensive pressure, and it took a few turns, like you suggested it might, Ruben. But in the end, board full of characters, nothing in hand for the ace player, and Tetra and Rayleigh goes up 1-0.
Yes, and Rayleigh was going first. I think that ace actually had their, well, preferred curve as well. They didn't have a very bad curve at all. They had Jozu, they had 8-cost event, they had the Searcher.
They had the 4 Marco on curve?
Oh, they had 4 Marco on curve as... I don't remember, but...
I thought they had Marco. I could be wrong, I might be misremembering.
Then they have like a very, very good curve.
They had the turn 1 Izzo, they had the Iron White Beard on curve, they had Marco, they had Jozu. I think they had Marco, unless I'm misremembering. Yes, I have just watched 3 ace games in a row, so they do blend after a little while.
But yeah, he's doing very, very, very nice showcasing of this Rayleigh.
And things could be getting a little bit spicy here, because when we get into top 8, if we can have a Rayleigh in top 8, if the limb we showed last round gets into top 8, then all of a sudden we could have, you know, maybe 2 decks in top 8 that are not Emu or Ace.
Or Green Zoro.
Or Green Zoro. And then all of a sudden we've got a slightly more open top 8 than we might have been imagining coming in.
Absolutely. My vote, and what I think is still that we will have probably a Emu Ace finals.
I think you probably would be right there. I mean, that's a safe guess and a good guess.
That's a very safe guess. I'm not risking it. But I wouldn't mind to see like a Rayleigh or a Lim in top 4 making it to Worlds. Like, you deserve it. If you play so well, you come to finals and bring the deck that you are best with. You bring Rayleigh or Lim. You deserve a spot almost to go to Worlds at least. So
my heart says Lim. My head does not say Lim.
And if the Bello Betty is still in, like, vamos. Spain goes to maybe to Worlds.
That would be amazing. That would be absolutely awesome. That would make me very, very happy. Okay. Now I'm just double checking on the website. People keep telling me different things. It is top 3 that are getting into Worlds, not top 4. Yes. I believe.
Yes.
So that means that a top 4 finish does not guarantee you a Worlds invite.
Absolutely.
One of the 2 players that loses in top 4 will get in, but one of them won't.
Correct.
So that's going to make top 4 absolutely just the most tense round you've ever seen.
I think that the top 4 is more tense than the actual finals.
Oh, absolutely. Don't get me wrong, you know, when you get to first place, you've got your trophy, you've got your, you know, your Roronoa Zoro trophy card and all of that, but make no mistake about it, it's a World's invite is the big prize here. And having it top 3, not top 4 is very awkward for one of those. I mean, imagine getting a top 4, losing, and then finding out well, I suppose you'll know going in, won't you?
I hope so.
Presumably it'll be that, well, the higher seed will get the higher finish.
Yes.
So we should know. Going into top 4, well, you're not always going to know because it might depend on the outcome of the other match. And if we play them, it looks like we might be playing them sequentially, not at the same time. So you might lose in top 4, and then you watch top 4 knowing if one of these players wins, I get the Worlds invite. But if the other one wins, I won't get the invite, because it depends on which seed wins as to whether I get the invite as a losing top 4 player.
I think aren't they playing against each other? We have a top 4 bracket. The winners are going to play against.
Do we have a first place playoff?
Yeah, I think so. I'm pretty sure. So
that will also be very tense.
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that they did that last year's.
Well, we are rolling off in game 2. We will get confirmation about the existence of a third place playoff, but for now, it looks like we are using one. No. Okay. Oh, that was revealing event. So we've got the Shaku Yaku down, and now we're over to Ace, and it seems like we are starting off with a Garp. Searches any card, free cost or higher.
You need a card which fits best in your curve. We do see a Marco, but maybe he already has one, so... There we go. Goes for the 9 cost. 9 cost really good in this matchup. And of course, you put a Don on your leader.
So we got the 6k leader. It's always fun.
Yep. We do see
mostly because 6k. Then you put a Don on. It's not always necessarily about boosting. It's because you need the Don on the Ace to activate that skill. Fairly important.
And Rayleigh already has the Luffy and Sanji in hand. The best combo possible for this deck.
Okay, can confirm there will be a third place playoff.
Okay.
So it's not going to come down to seeding. That final Worlds place will be the result of a third place playoff played after top 4.
Yes, and that will be probably the most tense matchup of today.
That will be the
You will see the hockey throughout the whole the Düsseldorf.
Okay. Shout out to our lovely backstage team for getting us back to that question very quickly indeed. So we are showing those 2 events. We are boosting up Shaku Yaku here, going from a 2 up to a 4, whacking 2 Don on, going from a 4 up to a 6, and that means you can swing into life, and it works, but that does give 2 cards to Nathan, 1 from the life and 1 from the leader skill. So just saw 3 cards drawn, and drawing 3 in one piece in a row does not happen all that often.
That's pretty good.
Now we see a swing from Garp into Shaku Yaku. All of the boosts have gone away, and you're not going to use resources to save that card. We play Marco down on curve. That is your 4-cost blocker. Draws 2 cards on KO.
We do have this the Luffy Sanji, so this turn is also easy for the Rayleigh. Both players are drawing really well. I think they both see almost their preferred curve or their preferred cards.
Absolutely. So we are going to see... Okay, so we're playing a color of observation hockey here. Gives an active Don to Rayleigh, but then lets you search the top 4 cards of your deck for a character, a red event, or a free cost or higher character.
And Sanji and Luffy were close to each other again. Cards that you definitely want to see together. Well, maybe not in a search.
No, very much not in the search. In your hand, yes.
Perfect.
In the search, 1 goes to your hand and 1 goes to the bottom of your deck. That is a lot less fun. We see a 6k swing from the Rayleigh leader here. Countered out with that Izzo nice and easily by Nathan. Here comes Luffy. And there's a couple of red events being shown to allow that Luffy-Sanji combo that we love so much.
Yep. And yeah, the rested Don, I was thinking, he missed a 1k basically. And of course, you want that extra Don on your leader, otherwise the Luffy doesn't get a 2k buff.
Yes.
I don't think it really matters if you have a 4k or a 6k when it's active. However, just for, good habits.
Yeah, good habits. You never know if there's some weird tech card that might rest the Luffy or something like that. Here comes a Jozu, and that is going to bounce that Luffy straight away, just like we've seen before. You bounce the Izzo. Maybe it's a searcher again later. Maybe it's a counter. But you are going to get value from that Izzo being back in your hand, and you get to get rid of your opponent's most annoying card in Luffy.
This looks like a copy of Game 1, because we will play Luffy Sanji again.
Yeah, I'm getting a little bit of deja vu here, Ruben.
Can we ask the backstage? Are we casting the same game?
Double check they queued up game 2 for us.
VOD.
Well, we do have that Marco blocker there who's throwing a little bit of a threat. We've got the Sanji down. Right now, Nathan has lost a life. Tetra's lost 2. They're both down to 2 life remaining. Sorry, Tetra's lost 3 because that's mono red Rayleigh. So now it's going to come to very much like we saw in the previous game, who can start forcing those attacks through in the late game. Here comes Boa Hancock, and that will allow you to go and search for a Luffy or a red event. I don't think I've ever seen a Boa Hancock whiff in a Rayleigh deck, and it's not whiffing this time. There's definitely options in there.
I did see some whiffs in, I think, in Bond finals. That was really painful to see. It happens sometimes, but it's the 1%, I guess. Maybe a little bit more if we gonna do the actual numbers.
You're playing like 18 red events and 4 Luffy, so nearly 50% of your deck is a hit, and you're searching 4 cards. You should hit, but yeah, there are always going to be some times where you're... Oh, 5, sorry, and you are going to whiff occasionally.
Starting with an 8. And I think the hit was on Marco. And he's protecting it because Rayleigh is down to 2 lives. So, with a lot of cards in hand, doesn't respect the pudding. I think he's like, if he plays pudding, he's not playing a Whitebeard. So, am I happy? I don't know, because you're also missing out like 4 cards in hand, maybe. Decisions in life. But I think we will definitely see the Luffy-Sanji combo again.
Oh, absolutely. That is what you're going for. And yeah, there we go. And also, you think back to that search earlier, it kind of makes you want to take the Sanji off the search, knowing that your opponent is probably going to bump the Luffy with Jozu. So if you take the Sanji, then when the Luffy gets bumped, you can replay the pair of them, as opposed to taking the Sanji, the Luffy, and then Luffy gets bumped and you don't get the combo. So things that you need to be thinking about as you go through. We're back over to Nathan here. We've got Jozu as a viable attacker. We've got Ace, your leader. There should be a couple good swings coming in this turn.
If there is a 10 cost, it will be very scary, because then it will be an 8 and 9, 6, 8, 9 if he wants to. He can put a lot of pressure. There is an 8 cost event.
Whitebeard. It's a 9 cost Whitebeard. That is going to make the leader up to a 8k for the whole of Tetra's next turn. And then we got that big 12k beat stick ready to go. So over to Tetra. 2 attacks through will win the game. Problem is, you do have blocker Marco. You have an 8k leader to contend with. But between Jozu, a Newgate, and the leader, you're going to start seeing some big swings coming back at your next turn.
And starting with an 8k was really good, because that made it really awkward to just play your color of Supreme Haki. Because the numbers against Rayleigh are very different than you are used to. We are all used to swinging 7, 9s, and so on, 11s. That's just the mod that we are very used to. But against Rayleigh, you have to swing 8s instead of the 7s because of the color of Supreme Haki. And that is one of the big reasons why a lot of Rayleighs at least played Radical Beam, because you are used to swinging 8s into Rayleigh, because that is what we are learned to do because of the color of Supreme Haki. And then they suddenly use a Radical Beam.
Yeah, and it gets kind of annoying after that. Right. So, just trying to look at Tetra here, trying to figure out what have they got that can start coming through.
The hard part is that you are looking at an 8k leader, 1 life, 1 blocker, and I think 6 cards in hand, 5. So
5 cards in hand.
5 cards in hand, so it's looking really tough, especially because you only have 1 life.
And you're going to be potentially drawing again with that ace skill. Jozu goes away here. No ace skill because there's no Don on for the time being. Needed it all last turn.
Can't imagine that he will definitely play the Boa Hancock, because it's basically a free search. The 2 Don that you reuse again when you treasure, so...
Absolutely. Agree with that. Like we saw in the game one, both players playing at a really fast pace, but then getting to the last couple turns of the game and really slowing it down, going, right, this is the point of the game where a Don in the wrong place, a card used to counter wrongly, and that is going to be the end.
I think this is something that we see every time that we are casting like the best players of Europe. Is the game pace is super fast, but when they are at the most important turns at the end game, that's where they take like the 5 minutes to figure out their mod or their turns. So really fun to see.
And I do think that is absolutely fair, given, these are super important games. We're not talking about like round 2 here, Ruben. We're talking about top 16. You win this, you're in top 8. You win top 8, and you've essentially got 2 chances for that Worlds invite. You win top 4, you're in. You lose top 4, but you win the 3rd place playoff, and you're in as well. So here we go.
Uh-oh.
The Boa Hancock does come down. Did we
whiff?
whiff?
A whiff, yes.
Oh, I'm so sorry. That was my fault.
That was your... You jinxed it.
That's a caster curse. I'm so sorry, Tetra. I did that, and I didn't mean to. I didn't want to. It's weird how often that happens. If you say a card... If you're on Stream Room, right, if you say a card never whiffs, the next time that card is played, the player will whiff every time.
Absolutely. It happens here. Oof, that is really painful for him. I can't imagine that he was looking for more counter, maybe another color of Supreme Hockey, just to be saved the upcoming turn against the backswing. But now, oof, really, really painful for him. Let's see. There are all the events. 5 events in one search.
See, that would have been good for Boa Hancock a minute ago. I mean, it's good for Buggy now as well, to be fair. Buggy likes red events. He's a bit partial.
Maybe we don't know yet. No spoilers in chat, no spoilers in stream, but maybe Buggy is not the person that we think he is.
Okay, wow. That's a nice little tease for you for later. Now, we are using that Oh, wait. We were using that Boa Hancock skill. We are using that Boa Hancock skill, attaching 2 rested Dom to the Sanji. And now that we've got 2 given... Oh, we've got 4 given Don, actually, to be fair. So that is going to take out the Marco. Marco blocker is now gone. And it kind of feels like we're getting very close to where we were in the last game. The thing is, remember the last game, Tetra had just enough counter to actually survive into that final turn that they had. There's going to be a very similar thing here. They are going to have 2 big swings coming down from the Newgate and the Ace next turn. They need to survive both of them to win this in 2 games.
We have a lot of cards in hand, so I do wonder, can you survive the backswing? You have 2 King Kong guns, I think. That's a lot of damage. However, those cards are not 2Ks as many others.
Nope. Activate main, 3K bump, or maybe a 4K bump.
Oh, he's using them both.
Oh, my word. So that is going to be a ridiculously big swing. That should be a +8.
8. Yes, so that's 14.
Is this on the Luffy?
Yes, yes.
So we've got 4 + 2 + 2 is 8. Is that 16?
No, I think 6K and 8K.
Oh, 6 + 8.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay,
+2 from leader ability is used on the Sanji.
Okay, so it is. Okay, we're going to need more. That's not enough. There we go. It is 14K. There is your
We need more dices.
We are out of those plus power counters. I don't blame them. Most decks don't need that many. So we have a 14K Luffy swing here.
That's a lot.
And it's such an awkward thing, because even if you counter out here, even if you counter, it's going to take a lot. So 14 into a 6K leader. So 8K will be a tie. Tie goes to the attacker. So you need to have 9K counter just to stop this attack coming through.
7. We are an 8K leader.
Oh, apologies.
7. That's still a lot.
The way he was holding his hand, he was perfectly covering the 2K bump. But yes, of course, from the Newgate played
still
last
still a lot to count. 4 cards at least. But it feels like it will come down again to the exact same thing as last game. he will split between Newgate and his leader.
Yep.
And will ask again for counter. Does he have it? If he,
Okay, so the life gets taken. We draw for turn. And yeah, like we've both said it, and I think we've both nailed it. You split the Don between those two, and you basically ask Tetra, can you survive one of these swings? One can go through, and honestly, it's kind of better if one does go through, because then you've got more cards for your final turn, because there's no way you're doing this 2 turns in a row.
We do have a lot of counter, and we have a blocker, Marco.
But if you play the blocker, you're not splitting your Don as well.
There's unblockable event. He needs to count really good right now.
I think you're right.
You can do a 13-13 split if you want to. There's no Don open, so you don't need to be scared of Conquer's Haki. Or Color of Supreme.
No, that is not there.
Yes.
Well, you get the 2K counter, but you don't then get the extra -1 to all of your opponent's characters.
Yes, the -1 really, really good. Also, we get an altered of this card in the booklet that you have at the Düsseldorf Bandai store.
I may or may not have already picked that up. It might have been the first thing I did yesterday when I got to the event before I even came and checked in. Who knows? Maybe I went straight to the shop and didn't come and check in for the stream until I'd got my exclusive. Nobody knows. We do know is that there are 2 Don in Nathan's hand. Looks like they might be going on to the Newgate here.
He's going for 12.
So that is a
12 and a 14 if he wants to. I think he's asking the 12. If he counters, he will probably try to play safe, getting some blockers. He has a lot of 2Ks. And if he takes, he's probably going in for 14.
I believe that is going to be the case.
And as Tetra, if you have if you can counter 14, you take just to try to...
Okay, so you take. So now we got the 14, and here comes the question. Can you counter the 14, or are we going to a game 3? Tetra doesn't even show the hand, so it looks like we are going to a game 3 here. Hey, we're in top 16. What are we going to do? Finish in 2 games? Nah, mate. Let's head off to a game 3. We've seen both decks do their thing and win. What's going to happen in game 3, Ruben?
Well, this is the first game that Rayleigh can go second. We did see Rayleigh going first both games because game 1 because of seeding. Game 2 because he won. And now this is the first game that he can go second. And both games, the ace player was able to do Searcher, Marco, Josu, 8-cost event. And this is a whole different game if you have to go first. Well, you can potentially still do it, of course. If you have the tools to do it, then you do it with an extra Don on your leader. But if you don't have those cards, and not perfectly on curve, it might get tricky. Ace, of course, is known that it prefers to go second.
Yeah, because you want those even number cards. You want your 2 Don turn to be either 2 Searchers or a Searcher and a Don on your leader. And then your 4 Don turn, you get the Marco. 6 Don turn, you get the Josu. 8 Don turn, you get the Iron Whitebeard.
Yes.
Everything flows really nicely. Whereas if you go first, the 1 Don turn, you got your Searcher, but no Don on the leader. Your 3 Don turn, you're 1 short of Marco. Your 5 Don turn, you're 1 short of Josu. Your 7 Don turn, you're 1 short of Iron Whitebeard. And you're not ramping in this deck, so you're constantly finding yourself 1 Don short of where you want to be.
Yeah, I'm curious, though, if that's really the game plan, because if there is one matchup that Ace wants to go first, it's Green Zoro. And Green Zoro is also an aggressive matchup. And the game, how you approach the matchup as Ace against Green Zoro, you're never trading the board. You're just going to the leader. You're trying to be as aggressive as possible, and you have way too much defensive tools that Green Zoro can't get through it. And maybe his game plan is exactly the same against Rayleigh. You don't want to trade your 6K leader or your 12K Whitebeard into a small body as Buggy or Nami or a Boa maybe, or a 3K Sanji. No, you want to go face. As you saw these games, he is going very hard for the leader from Rayleigh. So maybe this is the kind of game that the Rayleigh player understands, and he said, maybe I need to go first these games. It's definitely a possibility. However, taking away their best curve is also a thing. But yeah, against Green Zoro, Ace wants to go first because they can be very aggressive. They have the exact same game plan. You still play Marco on your 5 Don, but you can swing 7 onto Green Zoro. Next, and on your 8 on turn, you can swing 7 at least, or maybe even 9. So...
Very well put. Well, now we get the Dawn, now we get the fist bump. Game 3, top 16, one-piece European finals. And it is Nathan and Ace going first, as we suggested it might be. We see Izzo coming down, searching for a Whitebeard. It is that 4-cost blocker Marco that is coming down. And then we're going to head straight on over to Tetra, because what else can you do?
We do have the Luffy on curve, I see. Let's try to find that Sanji. We do have double Nami, so he's definitely going for the Sanji. If he can find it in one of his search. Not that Sanji, but...
I mean, that's a good Sanji.
That's a good Sanji.
But it's not the right Sanji.
It's not the correct Sanji.
One of those original cards still sees a huge amount of play.
Second attempt with the Nami. Here we go.
Now we get to see another search for another Straw Hat.
Do we get the 3-cost Sanji? I see a Luffy.
I see a Luffy.
Zoro. I don't see the Sanji.
Oh, that's a shame. We see the Gum Gum King Kong Gatling, but that is not what we were looking for. Still a chance to draw it before next turn, but now you're in top deck mode, which is not really where you want. I mean, you have cleared 10 cards out the way, but you are still very much in top deck mode here. So you take a life.
Yep, 9 leader. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Did we find a Sanji? No. Oh, we did, I think.
We did find the Sanji. It wasn't off the life, so it must have been off the actual top deck there, because the top deck went straight to the back and we didn't see it. That must have been the Sanji. Great top deck for Tetra here. Gets that duel, Luffy and Sanji. But crucially, in both games, the turn after Luffy came down, Jozu came and bumped it.
Yes.
This turn, there's only 5 Don for Nathan. You cannot immediately bump the Luffy.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Atmos is an option. So Atmos would be really good. 1 on leader, swing 7, play Atmos or Marco. Atmos would be a very decent card here. Yep.
Here we go. You nailed it. It is Atmos coming down. Showing a couple of Whitebeard, and there we go. Luffy goes away. So Jozu wasn't an option, but we had a budget version in Atmos, and that still did the job nicely.
Yeah, Atmos also such a good card in a lot of ways. Also in the mirror match, Atmos, if you have to go first in the mirror match, which you dislike a lot, Atmos is probably your go-to, because if you can bounce a 4-cost Marco in the mirror match, you are a very happy man.
Oh, absolutely. That's always fun. That Marco gets super annoying. You don't want to KO it because it gives your opponent card advantage. Bouncing it to waste on is fun. We reveal 2 cards with Rayleigh to give a 2k boost to the Sanji, putting it up to an 8k on your turn. Did we just play the color observation, Haki? We did. You attach it onto Rayleigh, and then we search in.
Yes, looking for a good target maybe to play with Luffy, or maybe he already has a good target in hand and is going for more attack power.
Absolutely. Yep. So now we get a Stone.
Oh, there is another Sanji, so he can do the Luffy Sanji play again.
And all 3 games we've seen this. All 3 games we've seen Luffy Sanji combo. Luffy gets bumped. Next turn, Luffy Sanji combo. And you see Nathan nodding there like, yes, fine, I get it. You did it game 1, you did it game 2. Why would I think you wouldn't do it game 3?
Yeah, this is like... If Rayleigh is in top 16 at the Bandai Card Fest in Düsseldorf, well, you do believe that he drew this combo quite sometimes, right?
Yeah, this combo's been coming out regularly to get you all the way to top 16. But now you have both those Sanji and that Luffy and your leader. You've got 4 viable attackers. You can start putting a bunch of pressure on the Nami. See, that's the thing about the radio. Even the 2k Nami can be boosted up. But here we go. We are discarding a couple of cards here just to get rid of that attack from Rayleigh. 1 with a leader skill, and then the put in for the counter.
Yep. We didn't see any pudding these games, although the Rayleigh had a lot of cards in hand. So I just think that Tetra doesn't mind if he gets pudding, because it slows down the ace so much that he's like, okay, sure, go ahead. I'll go from 7 to 5 cards. It's fine.
Well, we did see the Garp come down, do a little bit of a search. Did you see what he grabbed with the Garp?
He grabbed 9-cost Whitebeard.
Okay, that's a fun card, which is...
really good in this matchup.
Yeah, there's those 2 Whitebeard cards that are just so good playing it. And the fact, we've seen it a lot from these ace players this weekend. If you discard an Iron Whitebeard using the leader skill, you've probably got a second one in hand ready to go.
It's going 6 on And the Sanji.
Okay, so Sanji goes down from Atmos there.
Let's see. Maybe you do respect putting a lot. There's 4 Dawn open. He's thinking about it. I think this is scary. He's swinging 7. If you take life, you are, first of all, down to 1. Second of all, if he puddings you now, it's a lot of cards. So yeah, he's going for the counter.
Okay, so here we go with the Marco coming down. That is another blocker. Draws 2 when KO'd. It's a very annoying thing to have to deal with.
And another Luffy.
And another Luffy. So, back over the Tetra, it looks like.
At 8 Dawn.
8 Dawn, Luffy in hand. Is there a target to play with the Luffy?
I don't think so. Or not a, well, not a Sanji at least.
There's no Sanji, no. There's absolutely no Sanji. But you can play any red character, 3k or less from your hand.
Yeah, you have Boai, I think, still.
Okay. So we are playing. Oh, it's Rush. Zoro comes in to go after the Atmos here. It's another blast from the past, like Rayleigh tends to play. That OP01 Zoro. Not the optimal version of the card, I got to tell you. The Akira Igawa alternate art. One of the most iconic One Piece cards. Putting that one out there. But it'll still do the same thing. It'll still give you a 5k rush. Looks like it's going after Atmos here.
We are watching in the indeed base rarity matchup.
Well, this isn't base rarity. This is a starter deck reprint of the Zoro.
Oh, yes, that's true.
I spent way too much time learning all the different prints of all the cards. But then I come here and it kind of comes in handy.
Must have been fun with Nami and Shirahoshi cards.
It gets confusing, Ruben.
That's the master. Master level.
I don't know. Mihawk and Perona lately have been giving them a run for their money. Okay, so we pop a Don underneath the Rayleigh.
Yes, just to boost the Luffy because there's in total...
There's 2 under the Rayleigh. One of them's just well hidden. So
2
now we have a 4k Luffy with a 4k bump. That's 8k swinging. Must be into face here. And blocking it with Marco. But the blocker is at least off the board. 2 life left. And Tetra's starting to get to that point where it built up a decent board. And I'm starting to get a few of these attacks either coming through or forcing my opponent to use a lot of resources. Now, is that a 9k swing?
8k.
It's an 8k swing.
Yes, and I think another 8k with leader as well. There's no board for Ace. That's the good part for the Rayleigh player. However, we are coming to the late game, and the late game means Whitebeard game.
Well, we've seen 2 Iron Whitebeard discarded with a leader skill.
Yes.
But there has to be one in hand. There's no way you're discarding 2 and not keeping one to actually play.
Well,
yeah, there we go. Front of the hand there.
Yes, and we also have 9 cost Whitebeard, which we could play on curve if we want to.
To be fair, we could.
But I wouldn't be surprised if he's going for the 8 cost event, play the 9-beard, and going to a 10k leader and try to kill the Rayleigh the upcoming turn. Because the board is quite wide with and Zoro and Sanji and Luffy and of course the leader. Here we go.
Here comes I Am Whitebeard. You leave 1 Don open. And then we are playing. It is the 10 cost was in hand as well as the 9 cost. So now you get to try. And here is the question. Are we going to use a skill on the event to take a life and give a 2k bump to our leader? Looks like we are going to do that. Though it's only an 8k, not a 10k, because you played the 10 cost, not the 9 cost. But you get the draw, and then you get 2 Don on your leader, and you get 2 Don on a character as well.
Garp is pretty good to swing into the Sanji or Zoro if you want to.
There's low enough characters that the Garp becomes a viable attacker now.
But I think he is at a point that he doesn't want to swing anymore in the board. Like, swinging onto Sanji means you are giving a card basically to the Rayleigh. However, if he has a lot of defensive tools, you can still play the, well, longer game. However, we are at only 6 minutes left.
Well, then we're 1 game each, so we need to start thinking about tiebreakers. Tiebreakers, if I remember correctly, it's going to be first it's life, then it's characters on board, then it's cards in deck. Characters on board, you got to think Rayleigh's going to be ahead on that. So it's always going to come down to how much life is remaining. If we run out of time, we are not there yet.
So these players are playing fast enough. They're playing very fast. The pace is high. Both players don't want to go to time. Both players feel well, I think, about this game. Like, both players are drawing really well. They both didn't miss anything. at both curves. I didn't see the ace missing out on an 8-cost event or a Whitebeard or Marco Josu and Atmos. And I didn't see Tetra miss on the Luffy and Sanji combo. Well, we did see him miss a Boa Surge. Quick reminder.
We did. And once again, I'm sorry, Tetra. That was my fault. I want to see Rayleigh in top 8, but I did not do him any favors with that caster curse. And we're getting to that end game now, like we've seen in both of the previous games. We've got a wide board from Rayleigh. We have a narrow board from Ace, but it generally ends up as that Ace and one of the big Newgate, and he split Don and see if your opponent can counter. That's what game 1 came down to. That's what game 2 came down to. Right now, we get a 2k boost on the Sanji, putting it up to an 8k. Plus 2 Don puts it up to a 10k. So you're 2k above the leader here. That also then gives Luffy the 2k boost because there are 2 given Don.
And you are at 2 live as Rayleigh. That's also really good, of course. You have, I think, 1 more turn at least after this one, so it's putting a lot of pressure. Time to count the 2Ks and trash from Ace. That is something that I think all the One Piece players should make a very good. It's just a very good habit to look at the trash of your opponent. It's legal. It's a legal play. Well, it's not even a play. It's legal to do, to check your opponent's trash as much as possible, to check how many 2Ks, how many, even 1Ks if you want to, if you know the deck outside in. And of course the events, as Imu would never existed, how many they played as well. So
yeah, it's absolutely crucial because you can look at your opponent's trash and then you can figure out how many counters they've got, and you can figure out what their odds are of having a particular play. So when you're thinking, do I go hyper-aggressive now? Do I hang back a bit? You know what their chances of countering out if you go hyper-aggressive are, if you paid enough attention both to deck lists in general, and theirs if you know it, and the trash in terms of the specific game. So no, it's an absolutely underrated skill. When you get to this level of One Piece, you need to know all of this. Now, here comes a Luffy swing. It's a 9k swing coming into the leader here. 3 cards in hand from Nathan.
Yes, and it seems like he is checking about the 2Ks, if there are still 2Ks in hand. But he goes for the block. We are able to put the Rayleigh, the ace probably to 0 because we do have the Gatling, the King Kong Gatling. That's an 11.
Here comes a swing with the Zoro.
Oh, is it an 11? No, it's a 9 as well.
We got is that plus 4 on the
yes,
Zoro?
Plus
Yes, we
4,
have because of the
9.
King
Ooh,
Kong.
and he needs to take it.
Okay, now we have about 5 cards in hand here from Nathan. At least 5 cards in hand. 5 cards in hand.
I see 2 1Ks at least.
There's a Marco in there which doesn't have a counter. Obviously, the leader skill does double as a 2k counter, but have we used a leader skill already?
That is what I'm trying to remember, but it's
we need a little counter here that we put on the ace. Nice little One-Piece coin or something to show when they've used the...
A little donut.
Yeah.
Oh, that's rude.
Well, no, make it kind of a whole cake arc themed donut, and then we're good. Now here comes a 6k Rayleigh swing.
With the buff, I think it's just an 8.
Is it an 8k swing? I feel like Nathan's probably got enough to save the game here. But Tetra here. Oh, is he not have enough to save the game? Is Tetra in?
He used the King Kong gun. My bad.
He used the
Sorry,
King
guys.
Kong gun, so Tetra's going to go through.
It's
and
11.
that means that Rayleigh is going to go 2 games to 1. We've already seen a Liv winning on stream. Now we put a Rayleigh into top 8. And